Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Will? Now, don't turn me into a horned toad for asking, but what if we come across Ben?
I don't think a doctor's what Buffy needs right now.
Well, yeah. Especially not one who also happens to be Glory.
What do you mean?
You know, Ben is Glory.
You mean Ben's with Glory?
With, in what sense?
They're working together?
No. Ben is Glory, Glory's Ben. They're one and the same.
Well, when did all this happen?
Not 1 hour ago. Right here, before your very eyes. Ben came, turned into Glory, snatched the kid, and vanished, remember? You do remember. Is everyone here very stoned?
Howdy, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance Tucker.
And today we're talking about Season 5, Episode 21, The Weight of the World. Directed by David Solomon, written by Douglas Petrie, original air date May 15th, 2001, to an audience of 4.76 million people. And before we get into it, we got a couple of freaking shout-outs. We got one from our Discord user, Marissa L. Gave us a 5-star Spotify rating. Thank you, Marissa L. You are the real one. And we also got a 5-star Spotify rating from Kate. Don't know if you want to say your last name, but Kate, you know who you are. You gave us a 5-star. You sent it in my DMs. Thank you so much. And it also appears that we are spreading the good word of Mountain Dew energy drinks, because I'm Feeling Sublime has gotten really into the energy drinks that we have been doing. The Baja Blast. Vance, not a fan of the Baja Blast. Are you doing Major Melon today, or?
No, you only gave me the one Major Melon that we
I only have one Major Melon left.
Yeah. No, I have enough of the Bajas to last us through the recap episode.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that recap episode that's coming up in a little bit. But also, if you want to get a shout out, 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review, 5-star Spotify rating, take a screenshot of it, send it to my DMs at Joe Welke, or fucking get us something from the Amazon wish list or whatever. That gets you big shout-outs. Yeah. We got Tofu Lover. He's getting shout-outs all over the place for these Mountain Dew at Baja Blast Energy dudes. Yeah. So, yeah. This is episode 99 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Vance. Next episode is episode 100. And, we figured that we were going to do something a little bit special for you guys. So stay tuned for that next one. It's the last episode of season 5. We got a big announcement for everybody that's a fan of the show. So you're going to have to stay tuned next week. We got announcements coming out. Vance, you have an announcement too, right?
And yes, and just, get prepared, watch some stuff, listen to some other podcast episodes from this season, because we have the listener poll and Q&A for the recap episode. That'll be in the show notes of next episode, and it might be on Discord a little earlier than that. Yeah. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please join it. We got some new people that have come in. Really appreciative. It's a good group. It's a lot of fun. I love that the conversations spin off to some random stuff, man.
There's sometimes stuff. Sometimes where I don't check in for a couple hours and then I check in again and it's like, oh, now we're talking about UFOs and all. Like, whoa, I'm lost.
We started
it's fun,
talking.
dude.
We started talking about pangs again. Like it's.
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah. It's always Buffy's cowboy hat got brought back up. So yeah, it's a fun time. And there's a spoiler section there, so you can talk about future episodes with all the people on there. We steer clear of that, so you can actually badmouth us or goodmouth us, however you want to do it.
I wonder how much bad. There's definitely some bad mouth, and there's also the bingo game. Probably. I don't know.
I keep bringing
confirm or deny.
I keep bringing up the bingo just because I want it to happen, just because I want to see who wins it and what the things on it are. But we can't see that until until someone wins. And we also have which should be already released, our Boys Watching Movies episode on Patreon. We watched Snatch this month.
Yeah. The Guy Ritchie movie.
The Guy Ritchie movie
Jason
from
Statham.
2000. Jason Statham, Brad Pitt,
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro, Dennis Farina, Vinnie Jones, Lenny James. Yeah. And this was a pick from our Discord moderator. Speaking of Discord, Elias. We decided to do Discord moderator appreciation month. We decided to make that a thing, and we let them pick a movie, and this is the movie. And I gotta say, it's worth watching. It's worth checking out and listening to.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to spoil our podcast, but yeah, still get a lot of good conversation going on that. But if you want to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We do Boys Watching Angel, which is a monumental fucking episode this time around. And we do Boys Watching Movies. Also, there's Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. And I think that's all the up top announcements, huh?
This is the longer we do this podcast, the more the up top announcements get. You used to just talk and then be like, oh God, this is the thing that we always disliked. Not disliked, but if you listen to another podcast, you're like, let's just get to it.
Yeah.
And now you do it.
YouTube Joe Welke. I put out a stand-up special. Do that. Look, watch it. Give it a like.
I love how they go too long. You're like, wait.
Wait, I got another one.
But once you're doing it, you get why you do it. And we're diving in. We got to crack open these dudes, which we should have done when we were talking about.
We got to crack them open, baby. We got to crack them open. Oh, my fingernails are too small. Oh, yeah. We're in the do era. There's several eras.
What is the next
I don't know.
season
We're just
era?
going to be doing crack.
What was the previous era?
I don't know if we had eras. We just started an era.
You just said there's so many eras.
Yeah, that's true.
There has to be another era. If
there's the sad, dark times of the Adam era. There was the white bread Riley era.
There was
the toast era.
There was the confused high school years.
Mm-hmm. There was the Oz is the perfect character era.
Who's Oz?
Yeah, right? So long ago. Oh, man. All right. What did you think of the weight of the world here?
Damn it. I wanted to ask you that first. I actually like this episode a lot. It did something that started that I was going to be like, oh, no. Oh, prediction-wise, my predictions for even this and Angel have been like an episode early or late. Because two things I kind of predicted happened in this one. Some of the Ben Glory stuff. I predicted that was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen another time. And then I jokingly predicted that the last episode we get more like a little Restless type vibe. Yeah. And we get a little bit of it here, but just a taste.
Yeah, we do.
Just a taste. And I didn't mind the taste here. I thought it was just a little bit enough that it was okay.
Yeah.
Like I was getting worried. As soon as it started, I was like, oh no, it's one of these.
Exactly, dude. I was so worried. But I think that they did it better with this. Like they did the experimental thing with Restless to see like, hey, let's throw and see what sticks. And I think that they kind of honed in on what sticks in this episode.
It was nice that it wasn't the whole episode,
True.
Yeah.
I will say, I feel like there was a lot of, I don't want to say retconning, but a lot of stuff gets answered really quickly, and it just seemed
yeah.
like it was kind of like, oh yeah, that happens because of this. Yeah. Just accept it.
I did not like the way they came out of the the artistic stuff. I thought that was like very, oh, hey, get it together. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But all right.
Yeah.
Let's get into it before we and then I'll elaborate a lot more on like what I felt like was kind of shoehorned in explanations or whatever. But here we go. It starts off with a recap of everything that's been going on. Tara's crazy. Glory knows that Dawn is key. Giles is dying. Ben transformed. Knights of Byzantium, they're all dead. And the guy was talking about how it's going to Glory is supposed to like shatter dimensions and all that shit. So the episode opens up with all the Jinxes gathering supplies. I think we got a name for the female Jinx. I think it's Mork or Mark or
we had one last episode.
Oh, somebody's name is Mork in this one.
I think that might have been I think that might have been the guy that was walking with her.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because last episode, oh shit, what was her name?
She was Gronks.
Gronks, yes.
And that's only from like IMDb. So.
Yeah. I only know that this one guy's name is, I think it's Mork, because it said in the captions like who was talking, because he was talking off screen. And I was like, oh, okay.
You know, I purposely don't watch it with the captions just because I know you are. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Get a different. I mean, sometimes I miss things. Or like there were some things that Giles would say that were British things. And I was like, wait, what? And then I put on the closed captions after just because I was like, I need to get all of this done. But yeah, there are Jinxes. They're gathering supplies. They're getting ready for the big, I don't know, Glory's version of the Ascension. Glory is getting fitted for like some kind of dress, and she's it's not even like a dress really, it's like a big robe. Yeah, that robe gets a lot of play in this episode. Lots of whooshing around with it. But she's talking about how the Jinxes are they're groveling kind of, or they're not groveling enough, and she's like, I don't really feel like killing you. And I don't know why that is, because ordinarily I'd be so game to kill and squash your head like a grape, but right now I'm not really feeling about this. But I am excited about opening the dimensional doors and not being human and returning to my godlike state, but for some reason I'm not really happy about this. Something's off. What's going on here? And then she turns and she goes, what do you think? And then the camera pans over to Dawn, who's tied up and gagged, and she's like,
the pan over to Dawn seems like it's going to be a bigger reveal. Like a pan over that's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like we already knew that she was kidnapped.
Yeah, we knew she was kidnapped, and she's like loosely tied up. Like she's not strung up like Spike was.
Well, I thought it was weird too, because it opens up with, like, they're just milling around the apartment as if Dawn isn't there. And I was like, wait, where's Dawn? I thought, did you already do? But then they panned over and I was like, oh, okay, so she is there. Yeah. It was like this weird reveal of something that we already understood.
Yeah, it seemed like the pan wanted to be like more threatening. Like, what do you think? And she's like hanging over a Shark Tank or something, you know? Like I don't know. She's like sitting in a chair.
That would have been so awesome.
Right? She's just sitting in a chair, like tied up comically like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
But we did get confirmed that Glory has been in this body for 25 years. So we have Dr. Intern Ben's age is 25. And that makes sense. I guess that's what we've been. So I guess they like this guy with this kid was born and they shot her in his body, and she was just now able to like get the power to come out. It seems like he's been dealing with this though for years, not like recently. Yeah.
Well, I wonder how long his whole, like, there's no way that he could have done anything. Like, he had to have gone to medical school while she's like hunting for the key. Like, she was chasing after those monks, it seems like, for a long time.
Yeah. And it just, luckily I guess he was in med school, and then she came to Sunnydale and he was like, I guess I'm just transferring. I guess it's not really worth fully thinking about it, but I wonder if she manifested during like puberty, you know?
Yeah, or if she was always there. And what does Ben's parents think if like they see that happen?
Well, we know what they think if they see that happen. This episode explains it.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Dawn's still kidnapped. And the Scoobies now are getting ready to leave the abandoned gas station that they were in last episode. But Buffy is still in shock. She is still fucking just out of it, dude. Like, she could not handle it last episode at the end when Willow is like, dude, wake up, Buffy. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. Buffy just plopped down on the ground and she is like, nope, I'm checked out. And Willow gets up in her face and she's trying to snap Buffy back into conscious. She's like, Buffy, come back. And everybody's just kind of standing around like, what do we do? She's fucking out of it. She is catatonic.
Why is Giles like up and functional? Like moments before,
dude,
he was like,
dying.
he needs to get to a hospital. We need to get him out of here. And now he's like up and he's like, I'm okay now. Like,
it's but a flesh wound. Yeah, in the recap, we see him like sweating and passing out, like, oh. And he's giving Buffy like the I'm dying speech. Like,
Dr. Intern Ben was like, we have to get him out of here. He needs a hospital. And then this episode, he's sitting up fully engaged in conversation.
Yeah. But the Scoobies are all concerned about what's up with Buffy. Spike is like, you know what, we can't just sit around here and like wait for her to come out of it. And he goes over and he starts shaking her. He's like, Buffy, get up. Wake up, Buffy. Wake up. Take up. Doesn't work. And he's like, then he punches her right across the face. And then Xander.
I'm not against it.
I'm not against it either. I mean, she's the Slayer. Like, I think Spike even says that. He's like, oh, come on. She's a fucking Slayer. She can take it.
If in other situations, you know, it's like a guy slapping a woman that's going a little berserk is weird. In this world, she's a Slayer. He's a vampire. She can handle it. She can handle that punch. It pains him to do it, and he does it. So,
and then Xander takes issue with this. He pulls Spike off of Buffy and he punches Spike, and then they start having a tussle, and Willow just turns around and goes, separate, and they just both go flying. I was like, dude, she is so strong, dude.
We're gonna have a real quick power ranking in the recap episode, because I think I know who my number one is. Like, jeez, dude, just one word, no. Yeah.
I mean, her eyes didn't even go black that time around. Like, she's not even tempted by the darkest magics anymore. It's just like a part of her.
And they just watch that happen and no one goes like, geez.
Yeah. I'm sure if like it panned over to Giles is like raising an eyebrow. Like,
it's like, wait, did you make a force field while I was passed out?
Yeah. But
I think I mentioned in a previous episode something about a force field. Yeah,
I think
randomly.
You probably did.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that to happen. But I think I mentioned something like Incredibles, like a force field like Incredibles to put over
you
their
absolutely
house.
Did because you absolutely did because I remember that being like Violet's force field thing.
Yeah,
but it seems that since Buffy is now catatonic, the chain of command goes that now Willow is in charge, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yep.
Dude, I would never say anything bad about Willow.
Yeah, if someone's like, "Are you sure about that, Willow?" She's like, "I don't know. What do you think?" Just like starts levitating them over a Shark Tank.
And if you need her to do some like witchcraft favors for you, you want her to be on your side, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'd be a fucking simp for Willow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hardcore. But she starts to lay out a plan to go back to Sunnydale. Willow's going to help Buffy. Anya's going to look after Tara. Spike is going to go to Glory's apartment to see if Glory's still there. And Xander's going to go with Giles to the hospital. And I was like, okay.
I had two questions.
Sure.
Spike going to see if Glory is at the hotel. Is he supposed to just go look and then is it a reconnaissance mission?
the way that he does it, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think if she's there, you're gonna die because you can't beat her. And what do you think of Anya supposed to watch over Tara?
I think that is a bad pairing. But who else is going to look after Tara?
You know what my thought was? You're going to the hospital, right? Drop her off there. If it's going to be for an hour or for a day.
But you can't go to the hospital because, as we learn later, all of the people at the hospital have left.
They've left, but that means there's beds available. Like, that's not how hospitals. It's like, oh, sorry, sorry, all the sick people left. There's no more room. No, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. They could restrain her, I guess, if she tries to get up and leave like all the other people. Well, all the other people were restrained too.
Well,
they
later,
killed the nurse.
Well, later, they just knocked her out. I hope. Later, they talk about having to give her pills every 2 hours. I'm not trusting Anya to do that.
I would trust Anya. Anya, I feel like, would be like very OCD about it. She'd have a fucking timer, and if she doesn't get it in 2 hours, she's gonna freak out.
Those between 2 hours where Tara's gonna be a mess and like she's not gonna handle, like, I don't know. You go into the hospital, just like drop. Dude, that's my move for you.
Later on, I need to reiterate how bad I feel for Amber Benson with this arc that she's in right now. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. She's just like blank dummy face for a lot.
You know what's interesting? Because in the Angel episode, we have another character that's kind of crazy. And I kind of like that character. I like that character's performance. Yeah. In Angel.
Yeah.
But they gave that person a little more to do than just be,
Yeah. Just incapacitated, like just sitting cross-legged and staring at the wall.
She's basically a ticking clock, a doomsday clock. Like every now and then they cut to her, she's like, "It's closer, darkness."
Yeah.
Like just the vague stuff that we, the audience, knows. And the Scoobies don't seem to get that what she's saying is related to the key at all yet.
Yeah, and then when she's not saying anything, she's just like drooling on herself. Just like, damn.
Or like quiet, but then random. Like, it's a mess. Yeah.
But this is where Spike decides to bring up, so what if we see Ben in our search for Glory? And everyone's like, you mean the doctor guy? Dr. Intern Ben? And Spike's like, yeah. What do we do if we see Ben? And they're all like, we don't give a fuck about Ben. Like, what are you getting at? Spike's like, well, Ben is Glory. And then they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, did you all not see that happen when Ben was here? And then he transformed into Glory? And they're all like, what? What are you talking about? You're sounding crazy. He's like, no, I'm saying Ben is Glory. Glory is Ben. They are the same person. They inhabit the same body. And then they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, oh, this must be some kind of spell that Glory did when she was hatching this whole thing where she's in Ben's body. And if anyone sees her transform, they instantly forget it. And this is where I was like, that's really a convenient explanation for what's going on here. And like, they really just shoehorned that explanation in really quickly here.
I thought that explanation makes sense based off of what we saw when Dawn first saw it.
Happened to Dawn.
Yeah, because
I know it was hinted at. I wish they would have hinted at it a bit more.
I think they'd already planned for it. Just the way Dawn, like, they like to do that thing where they don't tell you what's happening, and that's why I have a little bit of faith in the show. And we still question it when we're going through episode to episode, but I had faith that they would somehow explain what's what. You know, like, I knew eventually we'd find out that Dawn's whatever she is. But when you're watching it, you got to be like, I mean, the season starts and you get a new character and you're like, who? The what? Yeah. And you can't be like, well, she already had a sister. I guess I love the show. I can't question it. You know what I mean? So I do like that this gives an explanation, and it leads to a lot of like funny, frustrating stuff for Spike, because this would be one of the most frustrating things for me to know this, explain it, and then he explains it, and then they go, wait, Dr. Intern Ben has some relationship with Glory. And he's like, oh my God. And it keeps coming up. And it's a funny bit. And it does explain like how he can transform in hospitals and like if it happened on the street why it's like not noticeable.
Yeah.
So I buy it also because Dawn is a creation that's in the memories of everyone based off of some spell the monks did. So I think a god could do this. So
no, I'm not saying I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I'm saying I feel like it should have been hinted at maybe a little bit more, like, because this explanation, like Spike just lays out the whole she must have done a little bit of mojo, and I'm the only one that can see it because I'm actually not human. She didn't take into account for vampires, so that makes sense why I can remember it, but none of you can remember it. And I was just like, wow, you really put a nice little bow on that explanation.
Oh yeah, the fact that he's like, oh, I remember it because I'm a vampire. Yeah. That part is an extra added thing, or he could be like. Or he could just not explain it and be like, so none of you remember it. That is crazy. He should have been like, maybe it's because I have a chip in my brain. That's why I remember it. You know? He doesn't know. He didn't run all the variables. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that part. Like,
yeah. But, so now Spike is like kind of concerned. He's like, oh, God damn it. Okay, well, this must be anybody that sees Ben change into Glory back. They just don't remember it. And then we go back to Glory. And Glory is taking Dawn to an abandoned warehouse. One of the many, many abandoned warehouses of Sunnydale.
Oh, he's like, how do we solve the homeless situation in Los Angeles? Just import some of the abandoned warehouses from Sunnydale. Just like...
I mean,
solve the housing. There's like enough housing for vampires and people.
Yeah. And also all of the mental patients from the hospital because they're all there working. They're welding some stuff. I don't know what they're working on. There's sparks flying. There's all kinds of construction.
The key groupies.
Yeah. And as soon as Glory walks by, they all stop what they're doing. They bow to her. And Glory's like, oh yeah, all these groupies, they're great, but the groveling is a little too much sometimes. But anyway, hey Dawn, here, have a seat. Then Dawn's like, I want to go home. And then Glory's like, you're about to go home because you're the key, and this whole fucking thing, we're us being human, like you're a key, I'm a god, like this, what we're looking like right now, this is all a costume. We're not actually humans. Like you're a key, and then Glory is like, do you need anything? Are you feeling all right? Like are you comfortable? Is that chair good for you? And then Dawn's like, no, I just don't want to do this. And then Glory starts to feel bad. She starts to feel a little guilty. And she's like, this is really confusing. I don't really know what this emotion is. Like, I don't like this. I don't like feeling emotions. And what is this? And Dawn's like, you're feeling guilty. You're feeling guilty. And then Glory's like, no. Fuck you. This is all your fault, Dawn. This is your fault for making me feel bad. And you're a real turd. And I don't like you. And you know what? That anointing thing that was happening before I got here, we're going to start that up again. I stopped it because I thought that it was making you uncomfortable. But now we're going to do it again because I don't have emotions. I'm a man. I'm a stereotypical man. And then
I feel like there's definitely thesis articles written about this being like a possibly like a transgender, like the allegory to that, at least in the earlier parts of the series, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, the way the show does tackle some issues, they're like, witchcraft. I didn't know you were into witchcraft.
This witchcraft thing, it's all just a phase. Wink, wink, wink. We're going to take you to the nether regions. Wink, wink, wink.
Oh,
we got to do the O spell.
There's a part where Donnie's like, don't call me Donnie. That I didn't realize that was a running thing that we had at all. I've never heard anyone call her Donnie. Maybe
I think Buffy maybe does like twice.
Does she? But why? Does she like chide Dawn for doing it? Is it like she liked when Buffy? I don't know. I
I feel like it was Dawn was saying that Dawnie is a nickname only her friends can tell her or her family or something.
I took it more of like, if you have a name and your name's like Jonathan and someone calls you Johnny and you're like, no, it's Jonathan. Like, I don't go by Zach. I go by Zachary and only Zachary. You know, I don't go by that like nickname part of it.
I'm pretty sure Buffy has called her Dawnie before though.
Okay, so maybe I just didn't clock it. I wonder if, and we brought this up a previous episode, I wonder if Dawn stealing earrings will ever be a thing, because we got one episode left, and I thought that was her like klepto dealing with the loss of her mom. Yeah. But now I don't know what that scene is. Here's the thing, that scene was so pointed. It was like when she went, and it's like when she saw Giles put the book away. Yeah,
the notes.
Yeah, and it's like a close up of that, and you're like, okay, this is important. And she comes back and she gets it. The earrings seemed so purposeful, and I think the only way that you would remember it in a future episode is it had to be in a recap in the beginning.
Yeah.
But also I don't know. Is Willow going to be home and be like, where's my magic earrings? Like,
yeah.
I don't.
She's going to be like, I need these earrings for the spell to kill Glory. And Dawn's going to be like, oh, fuck.
Oh, I stole these. Good thing you went klepto for it. 20 seconds.
What if Dawn pulls out those earrings and just stabs Glory in the eyes with them or something?
It just, I mean, you could like take that little part of your belt off, you know, like the little hinge maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea like why the earrings thing is there, but I just wanted to bring it up before I forget about it, because I was thinking about that.
That was a good call. But so they start anointing Dawn again, and then Glory talks about how she needs Dawn's blood in order to open the portal. And this is where I was like, why did the monks make her human then?
Good question. I also wonder if the key has consciousness.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't seem like the key is a conscious being. You know, like Glory was a demon god, right? And then she got cast away and put into a body. Yeah. But the key seems like it's something that's just like inanimate.
That's what I would think, because Glory keeps talking about how it's just like an object or whatever.
Well, she says it fits in a lock. Well, it's kind of like a lock. You know what I mean? Like, it's all this vagary. A question I had later that I got rid of, I thought about bringing it up, is like, if you just need her blood, and I guess this episode is all about like a timing that you have to do it. And luckily, they got her the day before it was due. Because one day later, if they would have left town 2 days ago, I guess it's all over.
I mean, they kept hinting at like, time's running out, and we never got a definitive answer until episode 21 of a 22 episode season. The next episode's the last one, so we need her.
It's like, you didn't ratchet your plan up sooner. You really cut it close. Glory's a procrastinator. That's what it is.
Well, it also seems like she needs to do it at an exact specific time.
Yeah, like, if she does it now, then what would have happened
if she had gotten the key like a month ago?
Yeah,
would she just have to like chill with her and like wait?
Yeah, and then like, yeah, it doesn't make much sense. And I was just like, okay, if it's her blood, does she need to be alive for it? Like, how much? Yeah. Like, they kind of like talk about it at the end, but yeah.
I mean, I know that we talked about it before, and like, I think Glory even mentions it, where they're like, the monks could have turned the key into anything, into like a bicycle or something. It's like,
yeah.
Well, if they turned it into a bicycle, then there's no blood to let, you know? There's no bloodletting. So Glory would have been fucked, dude.
The key groupies are like making a smelting pot to melt it down. You have to pour all the aluminum carbon fiber into it. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That was the one where when they start talking about like they need to do a bloodletting ceremony, I was like, why did they make her human?
Yeah.
Why'd they do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They could have made her drops of water and she would have just cycled around in the atmosphere, evaporated, rained. gone down the series. There's so many different things to do.
I know. Make her into a grain of sand.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess if Glory did that, like reptile. Well, I mean, the reptile spell worked anyway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like anything that hides it and makes it harder to find, like something buried in the ocean.
Yeah.
If you know that she's in a human body, go somewhere humans can't go. Not like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like put it in a volcano or something.
Yeah, it's like at the top of a mountain somewhere or underneath the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess
But
that's,
you know,
yeah.
maybe not on Earth.
Yeah. Dude.
I don't know.
We know that alien demons exist. That one came from the sky that Riley, like, with the goo.
Yeah, if they could have put this on the moon, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a show. We don't get all the fun stuff. I know.
Yeah, I know. We don't have the drama of Buffy protecting her fake sister.
Which we got to talk more about.
For the life of me, I was...
There's a moment that's coming up that I did not understand at all.
So we go over and Willow and Anya are at Xander's. And Willow's like, hey, I'm getting all this stuff together to start doing a spell. It's a really dangerous spell, like every spell I do, apparently. Every spell that I do comes with a warning. Hey, whoa, you're going to do that? That's super powerful. That's really dangerous. Willow's like, hold my beer.
Walk in the park. This seemed like the most easy one ever.
I know.
Like when she was like, I'm gathering up items, she had like 3 things.
She had
didn't even
2
use
candles and like a ball.
And she didn't even use them.
Yeah, you're right. Well, she did light the candle. She did light the candles.
Okay, yes.
She did have to get a nice sandalwood scent going. And
When Riley tried to woo Buffy, he had like 20 candles and they were dancing in the living room. Like, it's harder to have a romantic evening with Buffy than it is to go into her mind.
it's harder to get Buffy to love you than it is.
Oh, shout out to Riley.
What a sad sack, dude. You know, I was thinking about how like Buffy's so hung up about like everybody leaving. She says Riley all the time. And it's like, bro, you didn't even love that guy. Like, get the fuck out of here. You barely are like, oh, I think you're all right. I give you my soul, I guess, or whatever. We banged a bunch, but
yeah,
like
she's missing the bangs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Not the fringe bangs that she had in season 2.
I
or whatever
do
that
want to
was.
see Riley in the jungle.
Oh, I know. Just a little flash of him in the jungle eating some like beef jerky or something. I don't know, with Graham.
Some rat flakes.
Yeah. Dude, and once again, Willow. So anyway. So Tara's still a little mentally unsound, and Willow gives Anya the instructions on how to take care of Tara, which is pills every 2 hours. And Anya says,
Did you think that she was just going to go to the room next to it? I thought they were going to
No,
go
I thought she
separate
was
places. Yeah.
I thought she was leaving, like walking out. But like,
Yeah.
So Willow's telling us like, yeah, we were going to need to do pills every 2 hours. And I'm just like, you think you're going to be gone longer than 2 hours? And Willow's like, I don't know, man. I have no idea.
I assumed it was going to take longer than 2 hours.
Me too. I thought it was going to be at a different location.
Yeah, I did too.
But anyway, Willow's leaving Tara. She's like, be a good girl. Mwah. And Tara's like, duh.
I mean, Willow could have done this on the ride back to Sunnydale.
It seems that way. But anyway, so Willow goes into Xander's bedroom and she lights the candle. She starts doing the spell on Buffy and she enters Buffy's mind.
And it's empty. Buffy's dumb.
There's just one. It's like that scene from Family Guy
Yeah.
where there's one brain cell left. So yeah, Willow does a spell that enters herself into Buffy's mind, and then she sees toddler Buffy with a little doll, and she goes
I
up
went
to
with
her and she
kid
goes, "Hello,
Buffy."
Buffy."
Toddler kind of implies that it's walking but not talking functionally like that. Toddler's a little younger. Toddler's a little younger. Yeah.
Okay, I never really understood what the cutoff is for toddler.
Toddlers are like when they're walking around and stuff. They can talk a little bit, but they're not doing full sentences, full complex.
She sees 5-year-old Buffy.
Yeah, Kid Buffy is what I called it, but you can call
Kindergartner Buffy. Buffy Bot.
Buffy Bot Jr.
Robo Buffy.
Some blonde girl.
She sees a young Buffy Summers with a little doll, and Willow walks up to her and goes, "Hi, Buffy." "Hi, Willow."
She Gizmo. The Tickle Me Elmo Buffy.
Yeah.
Hey, Willow, what are you doing here? Welcome to my mind.
Willow's like, I've made a huge mistake.
She's like, get me out of here, get me out of here.
You're in here with me now.
So then we go over to Spike, who is just smoking a cig. He casually strolls into Glory's apartment.
Yo, when he walked in, I was like, what is your plan here, guy?
Yeah, dude.
You got beat up by the minions. You couldn't handle the minions.
Especially because, like, he's still recovering. He's still got, like, black eyes, it seems like, and he's all roughed up still. I will say his hair's looking pretty good in this episode.
He's got that post-Buffy Bot sex hair.
Yeah, looks pretty sweet. But he's walking around Glory's apartment, and he's like, well, looks like no one's here. And then he sees a little corridor. He's like, I wonder what's back there. And he goes, and there's a door, opens the door, and it's Dr. Intern Ben's room. And he's looking around, and he's like, wow, this is really interesting. So they are a part of the same human being. They are sharing the same body. This is cool. I was right. I'm not crazy.
It's interesting, but he already believed that and thought that and never thought differently. So him seeing the room doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, it's like, oh, like he already knows Dr. Intern Ben works at the hospital. Like he already knows it's him.
Yeah.
It's interesting to be like, oh, Dr. Intern Ben sleeps on this little cot in this little place, you know? But yeah, we know that already. It doesn't.
It would have been interesting if he like found Dr. Intern Ben's like journals or something, or like a diary where he could like thumb through and be like, there's these changes that are happening to me. I'm losing 2 weeks at a time now.
Oh yeah. Like, the Dancer's Chronicles, whatever she heard.
Yeah.
all these fake people just start writing diaries. It would have been interesting, like if Xander was with him at this point and Xander saw it, and you could still have more jokes about him not being able to put 2 and 2 together while looking at it. But Spike seeing it is like, okay. It's kind of like when they pan over to Dawn and you're like, we know she kidnapped Dawn.
Yeah, we know that Spike knows.
Yeah.
Let's carry on with this.
And we've known for episodes. Yeah.
There's a lot of repetition and stuff in this episode, though. A lot of repeating things going on where it's like Spike needs to keep repeating that Glory is, and like everyone still is in shock, and they repeat like, so Glory, I feel like there's some kind of connection. And then now when we go into Buffy's mind, there's a lot of repetition here too. And it's like, was this really a 20-minute episode that y'all just doubled up and stretched out?
I thought the repetition of them not being able to tell that Glory and Ben was played more for comedic purposes. I thought that was really funny. And it's nice to see like how it works, where like your mind just can't make the connection. Like they're trying.
It seems like it's not even like they can't remember the exact moment when they switch. It's like they can't remember minutes before and minutes after.
It seems like they just can't put the two together, like at all. Like they can't figure out what you like. It's one thing to be like, oh, if you see it, you don't remember it, but being told it, you're also not even able to like wrap your head around the concept of like them being the same, which is interesting. So
so then we go back to little kid Buffy, and she's talking to Dawn, and then Buffy's parents show. We get a nice little Joyce.
She's talking to Willow.
Oh, she's talking to Willow. And Buffy's parents come home. It's Joyce Summers. We get the dad finally. I think his name is Hank?
I can't remember if this is the same actor that played the dad in the Nightmares episode in season 1, maybe.
Yeah.
But we get Joyce's back.
I know. And Joyce has come home and she's got little baby Dawn. And she's like, Buffy, we got your sister. And Buffy's like,
I don't want a sister. You're going to pay attention to her, and you're not going to pay attention to me.
and then Joyce is like, here, just hold on to it. And then she's like,
all right, I'll watch after her. I'll take good care of Dawn.
When this happens, they cut to Willow, and Willow says to herself, Dawn, like with a surprised look.
yeah.
Like, and I was like, Willow, why are you saying that? Like, you don't know that Buffy's sister is Dawn. Like, she reacted as if this was completely surprising.
Yeah.
Like, when they're like, hey, here's your baby sister. And also, the craziest thing about this that doesn't get brought up, none of this is real. This is all a planted memory.
I was just about to say that.
Like, the memory
the monks did a great job of these vivid memories, dude.
And at the age that Buffy is, like, this memory could be there, but maybe this memory, like, I have a younger brother. I don't remember. Like, I remember him coming. I guess I remember him as a baby a little bit, but I don't remember, like, the moment he came home and all that stuff, you know? Like, you just remember bits and pieces. But this memory is just completely fabricated. Like, yeah. And Willow's watching it like, damn, those monks did a good job. Like, say something. Like, this isn't real. This is a troll job. They just trolled her. Like, they just
monks are like, yo, look at how fucking cool this shit is that we can do, dude.
This is high flame gaslighting. Like, seriously. Yeah. Like, this is next level.
Man. It's crazy. And like the house that they're living in is like so bright and crazy looking, and it's just like they made all of this up.
Well, the house is probably the house they lived in.
Yeah, no, it was the house from LA.
Yeah, but then the dad being there too is an extra level.
Yeah,
because they were like, oh, the parents were still together. I guess they had to be to have the kids. So, like, the monks' logic and planning for this.
It's ridiculous.
And there's no reference to this just being a fake moment that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I did not understand why Willow was like, Dawn. Like, yeah.
Well, it's also weird that like little kid Buffy is also interacting with Willow, who isn't there. And I don't know if like...
It's one of those memory walk around things. Which I was worried it was going to be too much of this, but there's only like 3 scenes.
So then we, after this little touching moment of Buffy warming to the idea of having a little sister and like, I'm going to protect her, I'm going to look after her sometime. Then we have just like a cut to older Buffy at the magic shop, and she's putting a book up on a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts away like really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as she puts the book on the shelf, she has a little look, and then she cuts away, and now Willow is in the desert. And Willow's in the desert, and she is there with Buffy and the first Slayer, or the memory of the first Slayer. And Willow's like, I remember you. You're the first Slayer. And the first Slayer says, death is your gift. And we have that little memory of that scene from...
That happens a little later. It cuts to the fire and we're outside, but then the whole like death is her gift comes in the next scene.
You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, like it cuts to them being outside, and it really quick cuts, and you're like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. So you're right. So it's just Willow out in the desert. But then we go to Giles at the hospital with Xander. And Xander tells Giles, like, hey, how you feeling? Giles like, I've been better, mate.
I mean, Giles is up and walking. I mean, this hospital
what did they give him?
Stitched him up great. Like,
he took a fucking spear to the side.
Dude, Dr. Intern Ben They need to bring him back. I don't care if he takes 2 weeks off. He's able to help this guy with a medical bag in the desert. What does the hospital think that all of their patients that were in the mental ward are just gone?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Is there a search party?
They need to make an ER type show that's this. It's just the hospital. It's just the hospital in Sunnydale. Like, and it's just
like House, but for Sunnydale.
Yeah, like a House Grey's Anatomy, but just Sunnydale Hospital.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
God.
That would be great.
Sunnydale ICU. It's like just.
But
the
Xander
the eye is a real eye.
Yeah,
it's a seeing eye.
So Xander tells Giles that Willow's doing the spell to enter Buffy's mind, and Giles goes, "Oh, doing that spell? Oh, that's a fucking crazy spell, dude. That's really powerful."
It's like it's Willow. She's the best witch in the world. She can do anything but turn a rat back into a person.
I know. So then Spike shows up, and they talk about how all the mental ward patients have left, and Spike is like, "Look, I don't know much about the situation, about where the mental people have gone. I don't know like anything, but I know a guy. I know a little demon underworld informant guy that we could go to. Maybe he could give us some information about how to defeat Glory." And then Spike just pulls out I loved this scene. Spike pulls out a cigarette, lights it up, starts smoking, but in the background, there's a no smoking sign, and no one calls him out on it at all.
I was waiting. I loved it, but I was waiting for the call out. Not from Giles, from Xander, from a medical staff. You can't light a cigarette up in a hospital.
Yeah. And dude, don't know if you guys have ever been to a hospital. There's medical staff all over the place.
Yeah.
Somebody would have said something.
It's insane. This hospital is... Okay, I take back putting Tara in the hospital. I take it back.
Yeah, dude. We call it the murder hospital all the time.
I know. I was just weighing the option of like Anya being Anya and doing something weird, or the hospital. I guess you take the form of vengeance demon.
Yep.
Especially if you're going to be in the other room, even though you're in someone's brain. But man, this hospital just has no rules. Like, he walks in and they're just strolling around the hospital.
Yeah. Like, Giles just like gets up off of his gurney and he puts his jacket on and he's like, "All right, let's go, Xander."
Yeah. And then a beaten up guy, all black, spiky hair, who you'd be like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Who are you here to visit?"
You look pretty beaten up.
Yeah.
Like, you need some help?
Yeah.
But then Xander still doesn't get that Ben is Glory and Glory is Ben and everything. There's some more jokes there about that. And Spike is like, God damn it, I gotta explain this fucking again.
I do love when he slaps him on the back of the head and like, this will be worth it.
Yeah. And then they both go, "Oh."
Yeah.
So then we go to Glory, and Glory is pacing around, and she's like feeling bad and guilty, and she's feeling all these emotions, and it's because she is now starting to feel and remember things that Ben did and felt, and she
I love it's happening now too.
Right, dude. I mean, this is another one of those situations where it's like, oh yeah, oh well, now they're just gonna be starting to be the same.
Yeah.
And then she asked Dawn, she's like, "Hey, do you remember Ben came and he was talking with you and then he transformed into me right in front of you. Do you remember that?" And Dawn's like, "Yeah." And Glory's like, "See, what the fuck? She's not supposed to remember that. What the fuck's going on here?" And then like the head priest minion guy, he's just kind of like, "Oh yeah, I guess the cloak between you and Ben is fading." Oh, that's a good enough reason.
My question is, why does this guy have answers that she doesn't?
Yes.
She's the guy. He's like a minion person. That's like the way this would be is those people were like created or on whatever demon world she was on, and they worshiped her, right? So if worshiping her, they don't make the rules. The priest doesn't make the rules. like the priest can make up the rules and then tell it to lesser people, but they can't tell those rules to God. They can't tell God how the rules work.
Well, also, who told the minion priest the rules?
Yeah.
Like, how did he know the rules? Like, oh yeah, the closer that we get to the time of your version of the ascension, the cloak between you and Ben is fading. It's like, it says who?
It was written.
Why don't you ask Douglas Petrie, who wrote?
It's in some old book. It's been prophesized.
Yeah. And then so Glory just goes over to the minion priest and she's like, well, then get Ben out of me. I don't care what you gotta do. Stab me, cut me, gut me. I don't care. Get him out. And the priest is like, you know that's not a good idea and you can't do that. And she's like, I know. But it sucks. I'm feeling feelings and thinking thoughts. And then transforms into Ben. And then Ben's like, whoa, hey, what's up? I'm handsome. I'm a doctor intern. And then transforms back into Glory and then just falls to the ground. And then gets up and grabs Dawn by the neck. And she's like, I'm going to kill this little bitch right now.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Willow. And Willow sees the first Slayer. This is what we were talking about before. And this is where the first Slayer says, death is your gift to Buffy. And Buffy's like, what? And he's like, death is your gift. And then we cut to bookshelf Buffy again. And then you have that moment of her putting the book back on the shelf. And then it cuts away from that to Buffy in her house in the hallway. And she's walking down the hall. And Willow's like, what the fuck's going on here, dude? Like, where are we?
I thought this would be just a normal thing. Like anytime I have a dream and it's just linear and not weird at all.
And then so now, I mean, that hallway Buffy, she's walking into a room. But then we cut away from that. And we go back to Glory with Dawn. And she's like, I'm going to kill this girl. I'm going to kill her. And then the minions are all like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you kill her right now, we're going to be all stuck on Earth forever. And then Glory's like, whew. Okay. Yeah. You know what? You're right.
Yeah. There are so many. Like, we talked about Spike having plot armor. Right now, Dawn has the most plot armor. Like, it could be something like, okay, I don't want to kill her now. I want to do it special. Like, this is what we know about Glory. She is, as impatient she is, she's also like fashioned and like image obsessed. So she could want to do like treat it like a wedding day or something, you know, like she wants the moment to be perfect. And she's not afraid of Buffy showing up or anyone, right? So why would she, like, what takes down villains a lot is their overconfidence that their plan is going to work. So she should be, they should be like, hey, the minions should be like, hey, let's just do it now and get over it. She should be like, no. The rope's not right. The venue's not right. The stage isn't set up. Like how the mayor wanted to have his ascension be like at graduation. Like he wanted that, like, I don't think he had to wait for a specific day. He just needed all the items, right?
No, I think he needed, did he need to wait for it? I think that he just made
he wanted, no, he had to eat a ton of people. So he needed a ton of people around to eat.
You're right.
So like that made sense. There's a big event. I'm going to do it there. Why not? Right. Her is just like, oh, no, don't do it. It has to be tomorrow. It's like you said, if she got her a week ago, what happens? Like she's just holding on to her for a week. Just make it be like Dawn wants to like make this a big going away party or something. Like
you mean Glory?
Glory, yeah. Like it just make it something that she's putting off until the perfect time or something. Because otherwise it just seems too many rules that are just like keeping Dawn alive.
Yeah, and it would have made sense more because, like, at the beginning of this episode, she's like getting fitted for her little robe thing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, is this gonna play? This is like a big deal type of thing."
Yeah, like, and she's going back to her own dimension that like kicked her out. Like, she wants to go back. It's like going to a high school reunion. I'm putting all of it out. I'm saying wedding, going away party, high school reunion. Just treat it like any event, and you know, just that would have at least. And the minions trying to prod her would have been really fun to watch. Because they would try to be like, glorific, it's but if we do it now, and she's like, shut up, and they're like, you know?
Yeah.
I think that would fit. Yeah. But this is just so much like, you can't kill her now. You gotta wait now. You gotta like, you can't spill any blood. Don't, Like, it's so
I just don't
much.
know why it needs to be tomorrow. Like, they didn't mention like, oh, it's because of this moon or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no actual reason for
No.
it needing to be tomorrow aside from them saying it. You gotta wait until tomorrow.
Yeah.
You gotta give Buffy time.
It's a key. It's a key. It's a specific. Like, it's like you can't enter your house until after 6:15.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, so Glory puts Dawn down and she's like, all right, fine, I won't kill her now. You guys are right. But man, being fucking human and feeling feelings, this shit sucks. I don't know how you guys do it. How do you do this, Dawn? And Dawn's like, I don't know how, I'm a fucking key, dude. Like, I've been alive for 6 months.
Am I evil?
Yeah. And she's just like, I don't understand how people do this. And Dawn's like, some people like being human. And Glory's like, oh, name one person that likes being human. All right, dude. Like, look, all this, everyone here is crazy. People are doing drugs, they're drinking, they're screwing and killing each other or shooting up or shooting each other. So, like, what the fuck? What? I don't think people can handle being human and they don't deserve to be human or whatever. And then she's like, name one person that's good at being human. And Dawn's like, Buffy is.
I don't think she says one person being human in Buffy. It's like, and no one can stop me. And then she's like, Buffy. I think she says Buffy can be the one person that can stop her.
Okay. I thought that it was in the context of like Buffy's good or likes being human.
Nah, I thought it was something about stopping her. And she said Buffy. And then, like, we'll cut to catatonic Buffy. But
yeah.
Her Glory's whole rant about human, it's like one of those like fun things, but it's like I think the Joker in Dark Knight has a better like grasp of like people, of like, oh, choosing this stuff and the way people will fight for themselves. What she's saying is like everyone wants to die and like no one wants to be a human, right? But then it's like, why are you like killing people? You know what I mean? Like, if everyone wants to die and then you kill them, that wouldn't seem like a bad thing. Like, you've tortured people, right? Those people that you're torturing don't want to be tortured and killed. So it goes completely against your whole logic of everyone's looking for a way out. Everyone is always pushed back when you try to hurt them. So
yeah.
It's just such a flawed take, and it's supposed to sound real cool. And she's like, I'm the original one-eyed chicklet in the village of the blind. I see. It's like, I get it. She's a bad guy, and she should be wrong. But like, at least her internal logic should have some like, where you like think about it a little bit. Like, but this is just like nonsense words to me.
Yeah, like this is one of those. I feel like I don't know if it was a stereotype at this time, but it's like now it's like we talk about that a lot about how the tropes of everything. Now this is like these days this type of speech is very cliche of like, oh, everybody, why do you care? Like humans don't even care about themselves. They do all this stuff, but we're gonna have some kind of AI overlord give this exact speech to us in 5 years.
Well, there was an Angel episode that kind of did the same thing previously that we talked about with Manners, when he's talking about people, and you just cut to like 3 people in the street and they're doing something weird, and you're like, well, I guess humanity is bad. It's like, wait, go to a park during the day, not like a seedy neighborhood at night. You can't judge it on that. You can't judge humanity from Sunnydale.
Or like the worst streets of Los Angeles.
You've never been to the Olive Garden, I guess. You've never seen Happy.
Yeah. Hey, dude, when you're there, you're family. Yeah. Have you ever had a Baja Blast? Hey, Glory, before you kill the world, let me just, here, try this Baja Blast energy drink.
You don't like humanity, but you got enough of our clothes in your closet.
I know. I wonder if like demons care about fashion, like in Glory's realm. Like, is she the most opulent demon?
I think they probably just walk around naked.
Yeah, that's why I always feel like demons are always naked.
Yeah, so I think they come here and they're like, oh, we can put on different things. Yeah.
I wonder if she's going to take that back to her dimension. Like, guys. Like, love that we're working naked still. Really cool. But, like, check out this fucking dope-ass jacket that I got.
They're from a demon world, and it's just torture and killing. And then she's, like, even more diabolical that they had to kick her out. That she's... Yeah.
I just... In a world of just all torture and killing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are they torturing and killing? Each other? And do they like being tortured and stuff? Like,
yeah, it doesn't seem. Yeah, it seems like being a serial killer in a normal world is where you get your thrill from because it's against everything. But when everything is just like kill, murder, kill, what? I guess that's just like she's wired to do that. But is there a good that she's fighting against?
Is it like humans that go to hell? I guess it could be that. Humans that go to hell, they kill and torture them.
I don't think humans go to that dimension. I mean, the afterlife is a weird thing in this. Because Buffy's been to hell.
Yeah, and it was just the factory.
Hell is
she was working on an assembly line.
Hell is a 12-hour work shift.
Hell is capitalism.
It's like hell on earth. Yes.
Oh man, we went way off topic there. But yeah, Glory can't handle being human anyway.
Yeah, and she's talking to another fake human about it. Great.
Yeah. So
I really wish
she
would have
acknowledges that.
Yeah,
she acknowledges that. She's like, "Look, we're not real. Like this is a costume for us."
I wanted more of that. I wanted to see Glory trying to convince Dawn that like you don't I don't know. I wanted more of that stuff. That can
Glory's
relate.
the only one that acknowledges, like, "Hey, this isn't real. Like that's not your sister. You're not real."
Yeah, I just wish they could relate to being like forced into bodies. Like she was thrown into a baby body, and she was just like manifested. So like, I would have liked more talk about that than like humanity and how do you be a human? Like, talk more about like what is I don't know.
Talk more about what you are originally.
Or like try to I don't know. She doesn't need to convince Dawn that being a key is fine. Mm-hmm. But Dawn doesn't know what the key does. You know, like you could tell her that like this is your purpose, you know? I don't know. But she wouldn't believe her. Why would she believe her? She would watch her kill so many people.
Yeah. So anyway, we go back into Buffy's mind. Willow is like pleading with this Buffy walking through the hallway. She's like, "Buffy, please, we can't be doing this. You need to snap out of it. You need to come with me, come back to the real world." And as Buffy is like walking into this room, they turn a corner and in that room is Joyce's grave. And Willow's like, oh shit. Okay, well this is... All right, okay, maybe we should talk about this a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry about your mom dying and everything. Like, yeah, and then Buffy's like, "Yep, this is what is my life, you know? That I would talk to the First Slayer, you know? Death is my gift, and this is what happens with me." And Willow's like, "Yeah, but no, but like, not really." And Buffy's like, "Yeah, of course." And then Buffy walks into Dawn's room, and Dawn's laying there on the bed. And Willow's like, "Yeah, but that's not true. Like, death isn't really your gift. Like, you save people and all this shit." And Buffy's like, "Yeah, but do I?" And then she grabs a pillow and just starts suffocating Dawn in her bed. And Willow's like, "What are you doing?" And Buffy's like, "What? Death is my gift. Fucking did you not? Have you not been paying attention, Willow? That's my gift. So fucking let's take the life out of this key situation." So there we go.
I gotta snuff my fake memories.
Dude.
You know, we brought up Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. They could have gone in there. Oh man, this would have been real trippy if the Watchers... This is a tangent I'm gonna go on.
Love it.
The Watchers could have been like, we need Buffy to kill... Because the Watchers are bad people. Let's keep them bad. Let's keep them like bad but around and you need them, but they're bad. And they're not to be trusted. The Watchers are like, hey, we need Buffy to kill Dawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she won't kill Dawn if she keeps remembering that Dawn is her sister. So we need to go into her mind and do an inception and erase all of her memories of Dawn.
Yeah. Kill the Dawn memories so that she can finally see Dawn for who she is.
Or she doesn't have any connection to Dawn. And
Yeah.
then when we say, hey, we need to kill her before the other person gets there, she'll be like, you know, you can even plant seeds that Dawn is evil and will turn into a monster, you know? Like, she's not your sister. You never said you would take care of her. And that could have been a whole mind episode of, like, them in there, and then Willow goes in there and she's chasing around, and I would have accepted that as a weird artsy mind chase heist kind of thing. I would buy that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But, you know, I mean, that's just a random thing I thought of just now. But yeah, because Buffy still thinks that's her sister. Killing her is like a problem.
Yeah. Instead of thinking that she is a green key.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just wild to me that, like, she knows that she's fake. Multiple people have told her that she's fake, but she's just like, no.
I think it's hard. I think it's that thing that, like, people have now. Like, you could tell people, like, a lot of things in politics, and you could be like, this is not true. But they're so ingrained in themselves, and they believe it so much that they won't listen to fact, reason, or, like, actual physical proof. Like, someone could be like, oh, no, that person could say a lie, and they'd be like, no, I still believe the thing. So, and that's like some person that doesn't have memories implanted into them. So, it's hard to separate, like, the memory there. So,
I mean, even outside of politics, like flat earthers.
Yeah.
Like, flat earthers are.
Yes.
How did that become a thing again? Like, that's so crazy.
My biggest question with flat earthers is that, what is the cover up for? I've written like maybe 3 like sketches attacking her from multiple different angles. Like, what do they think
who stands to gain from this lie?
My favorite thing I came up with for that lie is that the edge of the world has the best views ever, and only rich people want it. So they want to keep that there's a flat edge of the earth away, so that they can only go to it, and not a bunch of tourists won't start going there like it's it's like Hawaii or the Caribbean. Like, so that's why they're like, oh no, we don't want them to know the earth is flat. Otherwise, everyone's going to want to go to the edge of it. But I don't know why. It doesn't matter if the world is flat or round. Like, why would you cover it up?
I wrote a thing about how I think that all flat earthers just secretly really want to go to outer space. Because they're like, no, the earth is flat. Prove it. Take me to space if it's not. Take me to space. They all just want to secretly be astronauts.
That's a good idea, too.
Can't you see the curvature of the earth? Not from here. I got to go to outer space if you want me to see this.
That's great. I had another one that's like a mom and dad find a kid that has a snow globe. And they're like flipping out because they're flat earthers. I would just I went down a tangent. Like, I just can't wrap my head around why you would be, the government is covering this up. But why? But why? There's no benefit. There's no benefit to the world being flat and keeping it from people. I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
Chat us up if you're a flat earth on Discord. I guess. I
mean, put that in the general chat.
Yeah. In the general chat, and you get one message and 2 responses tops. You get one message and 2 rebuttals.
I know that this technically is on the latest episode, but keep that in the general chat. Where all the UAEs or UFOs or whatever they're called.
That general chat is getting wild, so this fits.
But yeah, anyway, Dawn has been killed by Buffy with a pillow.
Yeah.
So then we go to Glory, and Glory and Ben, they keep switching bodies now. They're having like kind of arguments, and Ben starts freaking out about how Glory, he's like, oh my God, I feel what Glory has done. I feel like the things that she's done, she's killed hundreds of people. And I can remember the things that she's done. Oh my God, this is horrible. And then Dawn's like, okay, cool. It's great that you're thinking about that. But now that you're Ben, like, let's get me out of here. And then Ben's like, whoa, hold up. I'm just annoyed because Glory never thinks about me. She's so selfish. You know, I had a job and she didn't let me have my job. Dawn's like, get me out of here now. We can talk about this on the run. Let's go.
This is how to make a character unlikable in one line. Like,
yep.
When he started complaining about, like, she doesn't care about me. I had a job. I was like, and you're awful.
Yep. Yep. That is exactly how I felt. I was like, you're really going to talk about how you're being selfish or how Glory's being selfish right now? And Dawn's a kidnapped girl is like, please save me. And he's like, hold on. I gotta wax poetic about my life right now.
You think it's rude that a demon in your body, a demon god, doesn't care about your job at a local hospital? How important do you think you are?
You're just a doctor intern, bro.
When he said that, I was like, man, yeah.
Yep.
Buffy knows how to pick them.
I felt the exact same way. As soon as he said, she's so selfish. And Dawn just like tied up. Please let me out of here.
I was like, this is what you're thinking about right now. That you lost your job 2 weeks because you were. I was like, man, I can't with you.
Yeah. So then Ben stands up. He's like, all right, we're going to get you out of here, Dawn. I'm going to take you as far as I can before I change into Glory, but that's all I can promise. And he goes, he opens the door and the priest minion's there and he just headbutts that motherfucker.
Can I just say, I love the way that people are falling in the last couple episodes. Because they also in the recap show the backhand of the general, and he gets backhanded and he takes 3 steps to hit like a post and then does a spin off of it and a rotation in the air and falls. It is so funny. And this guy, when he gets headbutted, he doesn't just drop. It's a spin, face slam to the wall, a spin off of it, fall over a crate, hit the ground. It is amazing. This is so fun.
Well, also, it's like his hands are in the air, too, like Kermit the Frog. Like, whoa!
Like, it's just complete flailing. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing, I think, that is happening right now.
Yeah. So Ben then grabs Dawn and they escape. They start running through the warehouse. So then we go back to Buffy's mind, and Willow's with little kid Buffy again. And everything's restarting. And Willow's like, "What? Why is this restarting? What is this?" And then it's the same thing where, you know, Joyce and Buffy's dad show up with baby Dawn, and then we get the bookshelf Buffy again. And Willow kind of looks at this bookshelf Buffy a bit more closely this time. She's like, huh, okay. Then we go.
Wait, there's a line in this that is such a like Whedonism. When Willow goes, "We already deja this, boo."
Yeah.
and Kid Buffy's like, "You talk funny." It's like,
yeah. Like, you're going to say that to me again in chem class.
Okay. Don't tell Kid Buffy and her mind about the future.
Yeah.
Stop planning new memories.
Also, dude, I know I talked about this on the Fashion Report /corner, but Willow's been wearing this outfit for fucking 3 episodes, and it's just so bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate her not going back home and changing.
No, there's bigger things at stake here, but like, dude.
I noticed this outfit, it's like a muted version of Willow, you know? It's like,
it's green turtleneck and like a plaid thing with like sparkly it's so hideous, dude.
Yeah, it's muddy. It's a little muddy. I mean,
it's
hey,
bad.
I was on the Fashion Report corner for the outfit that got me to show up. So after that, I'm like, all right, as long as it's not that.
Yeah, that was a pretty high.
Yeah.
That was a high watermark or whatever. That was like the most insane thing.
On the poll, you'll get to vote for your best dress, worst dress this season. So, and we'll have it in the recap episode.
Yep. So then we go to Spike and Xander they go over to the guy that rose Joyce from the dead that one episode when Spike and Dawn were like on a mission to bring back Joyce from the dead. And then Xander all of a sudden starts to remember, like, hey, wait a minute. Ben and Glory are the same. They're the same person, right? And then Spike's like, fucking finally, dude. What? It looks like somebody snapped out of it. All right, there we go.
It would have been better if Spike did the thing he did earlier this episode. It's like, oh, the closer we get to the key being there, the walls must be broken down.
Yeah. Yeah, just like expository dump. Oh, the spell must be wearing off because Glory is with the key, and we're nearing the time of her arrival to the dimension. And I know all this because I'm a vampire. But anyway, let me turn to this guy that actually knows stuff. Hey, you, remember that girl that remember we were trying to raise the dead? He was like, yeah, you thought...
Did you think he was going to go to this guy immediately? Because that's what I was thinking he were going to.
I didn't think he was going to this guy. I thought we were going to get a new character, but I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Because I still had my prediction about this guy.
Yes.
But
it doesn't seem like that prediction kind of went true.
It's like half true. Like, he didn't know it was the key. He doesn't say that he knew it was the key, but he definitely knows about Glory.
Yeah, he knows about Glory. So Spike is talking to him. He's like, hey, we need some information about this uber mega demon. And the guy is like, oh, I think you mean Glorificus? I remember Glorificus. And I was like, wait a minute, that's her actual name?
I don't think he said Glorificus. I think he said Glory.
Oh,
he said Glorificus?
Glorificus. Oh. He absolutely does. And I was like, that's confirmed. That's her name. I thought that was just like a weird pet name that the minions gave her.
I think it is a pet name. Like, because they say Glory at first. He's like, oh, we got to deal with this lady Glory. And then he says Glorificus. And I think him saying Glorificus is a tip-off that he is a worshiper of her.
A minion? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what they call it. I think, like, there's, like, different words for, like, God, like, the holy, all, like, mighty. You know, like, stuff that you would say if you're, like...
The Father.
Yeah. So I think that's, like, a little tip-off, like, oh, he's one of those people. Yeah. I didn't clock the Glorificus, but, yeah.
But, he's talking about, like, oh, yeah, I mean, if you're going to get involved, you definitely don't want to get involved with that. She's a mega powerful, crazy demon. Like, you know, there's a bunch of demons in hell, but, like, she's one of the nastiest. And Spike's like, yeah, but she's got that girl that I was with, and we got to save her. And then the guy starts, like, getting up, and he's shifting around. And he's like, yeah, I just don't, I don't have any information that can help you. And Spike's looking at him and goes, you know what? I think you're fucking lying. And I think you're standing in front of exactly the thing that we need right now. And then the old dude just... Dude. This guy punches Spike, and Spike goes flying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he whips his head around, and he tongue lashes Xander with his tongue. He just... punches Xander with his tongue that's like now like 9 feet long.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, yeah, he definitely was a reptile, at which we like kind of got the last time we saw him.
They showed tail, they showed like weird eyes, yeah.
Yeah. And then after he knocks Xander out, kind of, he turns to Spike and he goes something like,
well, he throws the thing into the fire.
Yeah, he throws that. He throws the box or whatever into a fireplace, and he goes, "The minions aren't the only ones who worship Glory or whatever."
Yeah.
And then Xander.
I thought the scene was over right there. I really thought like they were both knocked out, and the scene was ending, and it was going to cut away, and then we cut back, and they're like tied to a chair or something. Another thing before we go on, we have teleportation confirmed in the Buffyverse. Because he says, if you need stuff, it's in China. And Spike's like, how are we supposed to get to China? Like, teleport? And he's like, maybe. And I was like, holy shit, are we going to have a portal teleportation? And teleportation is now confirmed that it is a possibility. So
it can happen. Willow's going to do it next season.
Yep. It is good. We're going to have teleporting at some point.
Wait a minute. we already had Willow teleport Glory away from. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been confirmed,
I guess.
dude.
I guess. But like that I think teleportation with more ease, not teleportation where it's like, oh my God, I did a witch spell and like I can't do that anymore. It's going to be like hand
Willow's
waving.
going to go China and then
Yeah, we're going to get, I know Giles wishes he had it when he was going to one-day trips to London.
Save so much money.
We're going to get some Doctor Strange, like hand wavy portals.
Oh, yeah. Ring sling or whatever it's called.
Yeah, sling ring.
Yeah. But so then after he's like, you're not the only, it's not the minions that just worship. Like there's lots of people that worship the beast. And then Xander gets up and just jumps on the old guy, starts beating him up. And then Spike goes to the fireplace. He grabs the box, which double dangerous because not only is it fire is like one of the only things that can hurt vampires.
Well, his hands got cut up by a sword before, and he was like freaking out. But the fire, it seems like he can reach in, grab a box that's been in there for. This box is well made because it is not singed at all. Like that was the worst. That was the worst move. Empty the box into the fire.
Yeah, because what we find out is what's in the box. Like, oh, that would go up in seconds.
Yeah, it's a piece of paper. It's like scrolls.
Yeah, but that box, dude, that's a well-crafted box. But like when Spike digs it out, it is kind of smoking, but like it's not on fire.
It's not even on. It's wood. It's not even on fire. I kind of liked when he threw it in the fire. I was like, this is awesome. They're not going to get the information here. And they're going to have to like take this guy. Well, I thought the scene was over because he had him pinned down with a sword. And it looked like a classic scene ender.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, Xander jumps up on this guy and he stabs the sword that he had like 2 seconds ago. He stabs it through his chest. And they're like, oh, okay, he starts bleeding blue and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're like, all right, we got the box. That's all we need. This guy, he's a goner, so let's leave. So they leave. And then as they walk out the door, that reptile guy opens his eyes. Zook! Violent strike, everybody.
I don't know why this guy needs to still be alive, but we'll see.
Find out next episode.
But I was happy that he was still alive and not dead because I was like, this is way too easy for this guy to be taken out if he can tongue lash Xander from across the room. Xander is a regular person.
Yeah.
Like
he has zero enhancements.
Like, I'll allow it an Angel because it happens in Angel all the time now that regular people are just killing massive demons. like honestly, when you do it this much, it devalues Slayers. Like the Slayer has to fight like the strongest things in the world now because everyone else could take care of like high ranking. Like Xander couldn't beat up the minions when they came, but this guy with the super tongue and a sword, easy.
Yeah. I mean, Xander didn't die at Glory's hands when she just kind of bitch slapped him. It's like he should have been a goner.
His neck should have like snapped all the way around. One
like
hit.
she could do that by accident, just like by mistake.
She should be doing that Hulk thing where you like clap, you know,
oh,
and just like
smashing
just like,
heads. Yeah, do the like I forget what's atomic clap or seismic clap, and it just like shoves everybody.
I mean, if you have that kind of power and you don't care about killing people, just be reckless with it. Just uppercut someone through their torso and throw them to the side. Like I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I got a fun fact though. If you're ready for it, because you normally have the fun facts, the fun trivia.
I love fun facts.
This guy won an Oscar for supporting actor in Cabaret in 1973.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when I was a little kid, probably 5 or 6 or 7 or something.
Wait, were you a toddler or were you kid?
But in Baltimore, they were showing Cabaret. It was on like Baltimore's version of Broadway or whatever at the Lyric or something.
The Lyric Opera House.
Yeah.
That is burned in my memory just based off commercials. I don't even know if I've ever been to it.
And Cabaret was playing at, or maybe it was at like the Hippodrome or something. I don't know. But they had commercials that were showcasing Cabaret. And I used to like do little versions of it, and I'd be walking through my living room just being like, oh, we're gonna cabaret. And my mom thought it was the most hilarious thing because it was such like the dude that's in cabaret is just wearing like a fishnet shirt. Just like the most over the top like queer thing ever. And I was just like, yeah.
You have always been a theater kid, and
little glimpses of the future to come for Joey boy.
Yeah, you're like, dude. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I thought the stage was for stand up, for singing and dancing.
Dude, legitimately, I wore a fishnet shirt like 2 months ago at a show.
Oh, life comes at you fast and full circle.
Vance, let me tell you something. Last night, legitimately, I did a cake sitting act. I sat in some cake.
Have you ever seen?
You guys could see the disappointment on Vance's face.
No, have you ever seen? Have you ever seen that SNL sketch where Keenan joins OnlyFans and he does cake sitting? It's so good. I'll post it when this is out. I'll post it on the Discord. It is one of the funniest sketches ever because he's just like, I don't think I have seen that one. It's so good. I'll share it with you after the podcast, but I'll put it on Discord when this releases.
Gillian Keeves did a dad doing OnlyFans sketch too, and it was so also good. Fucking great. Like he's like, I gotta support this family, and he's like riding a Sibian.
They're like, what is your name on there? And it's his full name. It's just, it's so good, man. Yeah,
dude. After I did my act, like one of the other performers I performed with, an amazing pole dancer named Logan. He was like, I'm just telling you, bud. I know a guy that does cake sitting on OnlyFans. He makes a lot of money just sitting on cakes. And I was like, God damn, dude.
People judge the
I didn't
people
know it was
that,
a thing.
I mean, why would you? Why would you know it's a thing? But here's, it always gets me that like, people look at that person that does that and like, you are insane. Why did you do that? And I'm like, who are the people that pay for it?
Yeah. Well, it's always funny because like you look at the people that do it and you're like, you're fucking insane. Why would you ever do that? And then you see what the money that they're making. They're like, oh fuck, can I do that?
Yeah. There seems like it's like, it's weird because like prices are high, especially in the US. I don't know everywhere in the world exactly. Yeah. But because we have international listeners. But it's like people complain about
inflation's hitting us like motherfuckers right now.
Yeah, and inflation's a fake thing too. So that's another thing.
It's about as real as Dawn.
Yeah. Oh, well, we got to raise the prices because blah, 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 blah.
There's a hurricane coming.
It rained once in a place that it didn't rain before, and like we weren't prepared for it. So that's why everything's $2.
Eggs are $10 now.
Yeah. The chickens are freaking out. Like they still lay an egg a day, so what were we talking about?
Cake sitting, OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't know. What's it gonna prices? Just like everything's expensive, but somehow people are still able to afford these OnlyFans.
Like, we got to make room in the budget for fucking my cake sitting budget. Yeah. You know? Your therapist is just like, maybe we could like step back a little, like one less cake sitting content creator.
Yeah. Follow us on Patreon.
Yeah. We'll do some feet pics for you. Anyway.
So the Buffy show that we talk about.
Yes, the Buffy show. The reptile guy isn't dead, is the point. Yeah. He's got stabbed through. He's bleeding blue, but he's still alive.
He's got super plot armor. He stole the plot armor from Spike.
Yep. So then we go back to Dream Buffy, or Buffy's mind. Sorry, not Dream Buffy. Buffy's mind, and Willow's pleading with Buffy's mind. She's like, dude, you gotta stop this. We can't keep doing this. Like, we need you to come back to the real world. And Buffy's like, why? I want to be in here. I can't go back to the real world because I killed Dawn. And Willow's like, what are you talking about? She's like, death is my gift. Joyce died, and now Dawn's gonna die. It's what I do. It's what surrounds me. It's what happens. So I'm the one that killed Dawn, you know? And then Willow's like, ugh, dude, gonna need to. Can we get therapy Angel in here too? Like, we need.
Why can't Angel be in there? He's part of the memory.
Yeah. So then after that, we go to Ben and Dawn walking.
What if her mind was just her banging Riley over and over again? It's like a Happy Gilmore. She goes to her happy place. That's where she's at.
Willow's like, oh, she's like got her eyes shielded. Like, Buffy, come on, we can't. And Buffy's like, what, Will?
Like Angel comes in, Spike's in the corner watching. It's like, Buffy, you freak.
Parker somewhere, like outside the window, like looking in. Like,
Yeah.
No, that would definitely be Scott Hope. That would absolutely be Scott Hope.
I think she's already forgotten about Scott Hope.
Yeah, the show definitely has.
She doesn't remember. They had to make room for Dawn, so they got rid of Scott Hope.
But then we get Ben and Dawn walking through the main street of Sunnydale.
I wrote the same thing. It's like, that's the street. That's Sunnydale. When I think Sunnydale, I think that street.
Yep, that movie theater and the espresso pump, and then the magic shop is at the end of the street.
I mean, the magic box being on that main stretch and doing business. Yeah.
Then there's those little like circular cylinders that Riley got thrown through.
Dude, that place has been attacked so many times and like no witnesses ever. Like, I would not be around that place at all.
Yeah. But Ben like is dragging Dawn around and he takes her over a corner and he's like, stay here. I'm going to fucking be on the lookout, see if anyone's following us. He turns the corner and he's looking. He's like, all right, looks like the coast is clear. He turns back around and Dawn just bonks him on the head with a bunch of chains and it knocks him out. And I was like, there's no way.
I love this plan by Dawn though.
Oh yeah, it's a good plan.
Yeah.
But like the way that she like very gently hit him on the head with and then he's like, oh
yeah. Getting hit in your forehead with those chains like that by a 14-year-old girl, it's not gonna have enough force to knock you. I mean, she'd have to hit you just right to knock you out.
Yeah, I mean, she hit him on the top of the head. Like if she had like done it on the chin, like
on the button,
fucking get you on the button, they call it or whatever. It'll just knock you out.
The real
but
thing.
Like, she just gently tapped him on the head.
If it wasn't chains, I would buy it too.
Yes, that's the other thing. Chains don't have enough like weight around it. Like it's.
I love that they're like, oh, she's in an alleyway in Sunnydale. What will she find there? She could find anything. It's like, even if she hit him with a toaster, I'd buy it more than like the chains.
Yeah, the chains is what got me, dude. But Ben falls to the ground. Dawn's like, all right, time to escape. She starts to run away and Glory wakes up. And I was like, oh, this is getting fun.
Yeah, I was like,
Glory's
man,
like,
what a good plan. And I did not. I thought, oh, knock him out, get away because you can't be near him because you know that he's Glory. But then it turns her back into Glory. And I'm like, damn, that sucked. That backfired horribly.
So Glory wakes up and she's like, oh, you're going to need a little bit more than those little chains to knock me out. So
she said she remembers the pain.
Oh, yeah.
Because now she can feel what Ben is feeling. And she's like, oh, that hurt. And I was like, when she said that hurt, I was like, what? And then she's like, oh, now she's becoming. The veil is ripping down and she's feeling what he feels.
Yeah. So then she grabs Dawn. She's like, you're a little fucking runt, dude. And, I know that I can't make you bleed, but there are ways to hurt you without making you bleed. And I was like, oh, shit, dude. Like,
I was just like,
get dark.
It's a 14-year-old girl. Just knock her out and throw her over your shoulder. You could probably walk down this street and no one's going to stop you.
Yeah, dude. Dude, remember like, I think it was like 10 episodes ago when that giant troll guy was just walking down that same main street and nobody.
The reptile guy came out of the magic chop too.
Yeah, and just slithered down the street. The carless street.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But then Glory turns into Ben again, and then they start having like this argument with each other, and they keep going back and forth, and they are changing a bunch of times. And Dawn's just like looking at this happening, like with her mouth agape, and she's like, "What the hell is going on here? This is crazy."
This is the scene that I had predicted would come maybe last episode or before. Like I was just off on when it would come, but I was like, we gotta get the Gollum, the Spider-Man,
Willem Dafoe, the Green Goblin thing.
Yeah, the Green Goblin scene. And I have to say, this scene has great editing and direction. This scene
it does.
Done so well. Like, who directed this one?
David Solomon.
Yeah, nailed it. Like the editing and direction of this, like they switch, they have turns, they have like grabbing Dawn and switching and then looking a different way and getting up and like turn. It is so well done.
Yeah, and it's not even so they do like turns, so it'll be like Glory will like whip her head around and then it'll cut and then it'll be Ben responding to Glory. But if you just do that cut, it's not as effective. But they kept adding in these sound effects of like, and you could tell like there was a change happening, and it was like really good.
But then there was also like movement of stuff. Like they wouldn't just like stay and stand. Like at one point they're leaning against a wall. Another point they're dealing with Dawn trying to get up and leave, and they grab them, and then she grabs, and it's like two people have her, and they do this scene in a way that it never gets boring and it never gets stale, you know?
Yeah. And
it's so good.
So yeah, like Vance just alluded to, Dawn is at some point like watching this, and she's like, all right, while they're having their little argument, I'm gonna try and get away. And I'm like, kudos to you, Dawn, for keep trying to get away. Like I appreciate that she's not just a helpless like victim just kind of sitting there watching all this. She's actively trying to get away, which is dope.
Yes. Yes.
And then eventually like Ben grabs Dawn, and Ben's like, oh, Glory needs the fucking key. She needs Dawn. She needs this girl's blood in order to make all this shit happen. Maybe I should kill Dawn. And Glory's like, no, don't do that. Don't kill her. Don't kill her, please. And he's like, why shouldn't I? I don't like you. And Glory's like, how about this? Like, you know, when I don't think you realize like how much power I got, dude. Like, if you help me and don't kill her, I could make you immortal in my world, and you'll be a god just like me. Like, it'll be super dope. And now she's giving this pitch, and I'm like, dude, don't trust this lady. She's fucking evil, bro. Like,
yeah, I love this scene because he has like the glass to her neck, to Dawn's neck, and then like she turns back into him and she throws the like broken glass away. Like that's the stuff that was good. Like it wasn't just like he's saying it. Like he has that, then she turns into it and she actively does something with the glass, like throws it away. And I loved it. She was like, I can feel how you feel. I know like you're frightened and you don't want to kill this girl. Like I don't believe you're gonna do it, but I don't want to keep having to like fight you for this body. And I love the like negotiating stuff. It was so good. Yeah.
And then eventually Ben like kind of grabs Dawn. He's like, I'm sorry. I've got no choice in this. Like it's either you or me, and I want my life, and I don't want her to like fucking open all these dimensions. So I gotta kill you, dude. And then he like is walking with her, and then he runs into all the jinxes.
No.
Like,
He's not walking to kill her to stop her from doing the dimensions.
What is he doing?
He accepts Glory's deal
to be immortal.
Yeah, he choose because he's not helping Dawn at all here.
I thought it was like he was.
No, he accepted.
I didn't think he was going to help.
No.
I didn't get that he accepted the deal. I thought he was still trying to kill Dawn.
No, because they would keep going back. No, because they would keep going back and forth. That's why they don't anymore. Because he's like, all right, I'm going to take you back. Like that's why Dawn doesn't want to go. No, it's already set up when he says she doesn't care about my life. I had a life, and now she's like, I'll give you a life. If she does this, he's gone anyway. Like he dies.
Yeah.
If she does it without the deal, he's gone.
But if he kills her, he's still there. He's still human.
He's human sharing a body. Like he gets his life back if he lets her do the thing. The world will be different and stuff, but like, no, he's completely turned to the dark side. It's all set up for that. Like he's accepting.
So yeah.
No, yeah.
He runs into the gym. But like I also am just like,
oh, you don't trust her, but like they've even set this up before when like the last episode where it's like, hey, Will you take a life to save a life? And then the Grunt character's like, do you have what it takes to kill someone for yourself? Like, it was all leading up to him. Like, yeah.
So this is my issue with him accepting the deal, because he gave a whole speech about how he wanted to be a doctor because he wanted to be a part of humans' lives and their deaths, and he wanted to be experiencing all this human stuff. If he accepts Glory's deal, he's now a demon immortal god type guy.
She said she'd make him immortal, and I guess if he's immortal, he could still probably be in a human. I don't know exactly how any of that works.
He's gonna be like a doctor in the demon world.
They don't go into the finer details of the contract.
That's why I'm like, you don't accept this.
But he definitely accepts the deal at the end of this. He's walking away as like Dawn is not going with him like willingly at the end. He grabs her like, I'm taking you back. He's walking back the same direction too. Yeah.
Okay. So then we go to Willow and Buffy's head again. And Willow is just like getting kind of frustrated and being like, dude, we got to go back. And then we have that bookshelf Buffy scene once again. And Willow is like talking to killing Dawn / Joyce's grave Buffy. And she's like, what is this? What's this moment? Because this memory thing like keeps bringing me back here. Like, I don't know why. And I have no context for this moment. But I figure that this is like a pretty important moment, because otherwise you wouldn't keep showing me this. And then Dawn Killer Buffy is just like, oh yeah, that moment right there, that is when I quit. And Willow's like, what? So like, yeah, that moment, for just a slight fraction of a second, I quit. I realized, hey, I can't beat Glory. I know that Glory's going to win. She's going to kill Dawn. And a little part of me wanted it, because if Glory wins and all of this is done, at least it's over. It'd be such a relief. I don't need to worry about protecting Dawn. I don't need to worry about anything anymore, because it's all over. Everybody's dead. And I just wanted it to be over. It's getting to be too much for me, dude. Like, there's a lot of shit. And I imagine the relief that it would be just to give up and let it all be over and let everybody die. And then Willow's like, God damn, dude, that is dark as fuck. But, you know, you should snap out of it and not do that. Buffy's like, you know what? You're right.
she goes, oh, no, it's not that. What you're feeling is guilt. And I was like,
yeah,
feeling guilt? Like she's feeling guilty that she had that feeling before? Or, because they said also earlier that Glory was feeling guilt. And
yeah.
I was like, wait, really? Like, that's it? I also thought this was going to tie. I thought when she said I quit is when I thought this was tying back to Spike's story about how Slayer's having a death wish.
Yes.
And I think it loosely does, but in this one, it's not her wanting to die herself. Or I guess she does want to die. I guess if the world gets taken over, she will die eventually.
Yeah.
But it's not like a directly her dying in a fight. But it's like, I'll let Dawn die, and it'll be the same as me dying in a fight. So I don't know if that's exactly what they're going for, but I definitely thought it was the callback to the death wish of Slayers that they've set up.
Yeah, I absolutely thought the exact same thing, because, I mean, Bill Burr has a joke about this too, about how, like, even like this is obviously what Buffy's going through is a much more crazy thing, but Bill Burr has, like, you know, sometimes I just have like suicidal thoughts just because of inconveniences, about how he promised that he was going to make a pie for a Thanksgiving,
joke,
and then and he's like, man, I wish I didn't. Maybe if I just kill myself, I won't have to make that pie. It's just the relief of it.
Yeah. So this is kind of that way with, like, I guess it's just like, oh, if I let Dawn get captured, then I don't have to do this run around thing anymore. Yeah. It is exhausting being the Slayer.
Absolutely. And Willow starts to realize, like, oh man, yeah, you've been doing this. You've been at this every day since you were in fucking high school, dude.
It's like she has the weight of the world.
It's like the weight of the roll credits. But yeah, then Willow's like, but dude, you got to snap out of it, because guess what, you idiot, you big dum-dum? Dawn's not dead. She's still alive. You could still do something. And Buffy's like, you really think so, man? I mean, I tried fighting Gloria. I don't know. She's good as dead, dude. Let's be real. Like, you saw me get my ass beat by her. And Willow's like, no, we can still do something. We got to get back to your body. We got to go and do something. And Buffy's like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, I didn't love this as the way to snap out. Like, or maybe you revealed this as the...
You know what would have been
yeah,
impactful is like have a memory of Joyce show up there and be like, Buffy, you promised that you were like, show Buffy promising to Joyce when she was like in the gurney on her, like right before she was about to have that tumor surgery, like no matter what happens, you have to protect Dawn. Yeah. And that could have been what snapped Buffy back into it.
Yeah, but then she already had the memory of her when Dawn came home and she said, I'm going to protect her, you know? So like that would just be doubling down on it.
I think that like just showing one of those memories to get Willow to be like, see, this is what you
wait, you mean you want Willow to show Buffy her own memories?
Well, or just like Buffy, like Willow says something that jogs that memory in Buffy.
Yeah, I just think because they have her as a kid already making that promise.
Yeah.
I don't think having another promise made is like, oh, I know I made, like she feels guilt. And see, I think the issue,
I think it is more impactful with the mom in the tumor because at that point they both realize that Dawn is fake. Like the little kid, like everybody thinks that Dawn is real, but with on the like the right before the tumor surgery.
But the moment that she's feeling guilty with the book, she already knows Dawn is fake. So it's not like, and also we've already had her walk past the grave of her mom dead, and then Dawn crying in bed. So I think this is where the issue kind of stems for me, is that when Buffy goes into the room and she starts smothering Dawn, it seemed like, and she's like, oh, I figured it out. Death is my gift. And it was like, oh, smothering Dawn. Like, I need to kill Dawn. That's what you think like is coming. And you're like, oh my God, this is so dark. That Buffy realizes she has to kill Dawn and she doesn't want to have to do it. So she's going catatonic, right? And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Could have been like some kind of Manchurian candidate thing.
No, just like you always bring up the zombie thing if someone's turned and like, oh my God, you're going to kill them. Like you just kill them. Yeah. But it's still like you have that emotional, like you have to have that disconnect of like, because Dawn isn't turning into like a glowing orb yet. She still looks like a 14-year-old girl that's your sister. So you still like it would be more traumatizing, right? Like what she had to do with Angel and made her run away and go by her middle name, you know? Yeah. So I think when that pillow thing happens, I'm like, oh shit, this is dark, right? Like she thinks she has to kill her. And then later it's like, well, I just gave up and decided to and it's like, we watched the last episode. It didn't seem like she had given up. She might have given up inside, but she still kept fighting, you know? Like, and then she got taken and when she got taken, it felt like she lost, not like she had quit. Like nothing in that episode felt like she had quit. It felt like she reached a point where it's like, oh no, like you don't need like,
we can't do anything else.
Yeah. It didn't need like, oh, this one time I knew I couldn't beat Glory. I was like, but you kept fighting and now she's gone. I could see you being like traumatized, like, oh my God, or you have to kill her now. And that's the problem that you're facing that shuts you down. Or you just watch all of your family go away because your dad doesn't exist except for in your memories. So I could see that being also a traumatizing trigger, but it seems like, oh, she feels bad that she kind of quit in a fictional 1 second moment. And that's why she's locked in. And I'm like, it just doesn't ring true. And the way Willow snaps her out of it, like basically it's like snap out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is this any different than Spike slapping her? Like, honestly, like,
I agree.
Willow doesn't say anything super convincing. She's not like, it's like, get up and try again. Like, that's basically the gist of what Willow is saying. Like, there's not like, we have new info or like, it's not your fault or any, it's like, nah, you're being a wimp, get up. like walk it off. It's basically what she's
Pick yourself up by your bootstraps there, Buff.
Yeah. Like, I just wanted, I don't know, I just felt like I needed something more to snap her fully back from this.
I also gotta say, if there was only one moment, that bookshelf moment where Buffy felt like, it'd be better to quit, bro, what a mentally strong person, right? That's the only moment? Right? Just one?
Yeah.
Not when Glory's just like slamming your head into fucking rocks at the aquarium or wherever they were.
She beat you up.
This would be better.
Glory beat her up every time, and then every time Buffy would be like, "Well, I gotta go fight her. She's got Spike. Let's just go." Like,
yeah,
like
only once, dude. What a fucking hero! Like I said, like Bill Burr talks about. Like, I have those thoughts. It's like I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
I just didn't love like she's like, "Oh, you're feeling guilt." I'm like, guilt sending her catatonic like this seems very, I don't know. I feel like that's a deeper state. It was just something that just didn't ring for the snap out. And I really hate the next scene because Buffy's like, it felt like an episode when it started. I was like, man, I hate that Buffy and like Giles are like kind of sidelined before the final episode. And then Buffy just snaps back at the end of this like nothing happened. And she's just like, all right, let's go. I'm like,
bro. She comes back into her body and does like a quick like head shake, like whoa, and
then she
starts crying.
Yeah,
like her snapping back into her body and doing that head shake. Yeah. I was like, oh come on.
That I didn't have a problem with her coming back and crying. It's just when they go back to the magic box, it's just like
no. I'm surprised that they didn't have her do. I'm surprised they didn't have her do that wake up noise. I fucking love that noise in these fucking shows.
You know what? The best movie that has that, I'm going to send you a clip of it also, is The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. There's a scene in the trailer that it's a great movie, actually. It's a Peter Jackson movie. It's really good. But there's a part where he comes back from the dead and he just does the gasp, and it's one of the best ones you'll ever see. Now, honestly, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Buffy's back in her body. She's crying. Then we go to the Scoobies at the magic box, and they're working on a spell. They're trying to figure out a spell to stop Glory, and they figure out. And Buffy shows up, and everyone's like, "Oh, Buffy's back," and she's like, "Yep. What's the word? What's the 411?"
I hated the confidence that she came in with. I just want her to come in like, I want her more desperate. I want her to be like, please tell me we found something. Because she's done that multiple times. We've seen it over multiple seasons. She'll come in and be like, Giles, anybody? Did we figure out anything? Like, she comes in and she's like, don't even worry about that little hiccup I had, that little mental breakdown I had. Or Giles, how are you feeling? Last I saw you were lied up on a table about to die. It's just like, all right, I'm back. Your Slayer's back.
Right, what's the plan, Scoobs?
Yeah, it's like
surprised she didn't throw any quip or anything in there too.
Yeah.
But she's like, all right, so what's the deal? And Giles is like, all right, we've got a hold on a spell potentially to stop Glory, but I must warn you, Buffy, there's not much margin for error. It's like, bro, we've heard. Fucking, we get this.
I swear, he started saying the same thing that the general told her last episode. And I was like, she knows this. Why is she not stopping him in the middle? We just saw this last episode. Like,
it was in the recap.
I don't think we need it repeated. And even the Demon's earliest episode talked to Glory about it.
Yep.
And he just runs that down. I'm like, you guys could have already talked about it, and Buffy could be like, yeah, I know all about that. How do we stop her? Like, just cut him off. Time is of the essence. Like, he's just repeating the dimension things.
So he repeats the dimension stuff that General Goro, or whatever his name was, from the last episode. The Knights of Byzantium general.
Giles.
The only additional information that Giles has is that she's going to open the portal by way of ritual bloodletting. And this is where I wrote in my notes, why didn't the monks make the key a non-bleeding object?
That is written. That is the... Okay. We really have to dive into that, because the key wasn't a person beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Glory didn't know it was a person until like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah. Glory makes a point to be like, it could be anything.
Yes. Can you bloodlet a key that has no form? Why would bloodletting be written into the thing? And it's like something about like they have to drain her fully. It's like so detailed. And it's like...
Yeah, they gotta get every last drop.
And I was thinking like, you could... Like, if you kill Dawn, does it really kill the key? Because like, the blood will still be there. The blood doesn't magically disappear. You're right. Like, the bloodletting thing is so specific for like, oh no, she's gonna kill her in a bad way.
Yeah. They're gonna strap her up to that. Remember in the Wish universe when the vampires had that machine that would just like suck all the blood? They're gonna strap Dawn to that machine
in the most inconvenient way possible with like a bunch of needles.
Yeah, just like 9 needles, like their calves and shit.
You know, like everyone, like a little gruesome, but in the meat, like you're hanging and bloodletting happens. Like you hang them on the meat hooks or the hooks, and you just let it drain out naturally. You don't just stick needles into random parts of people's body. It's like jammed into that thigh. Like, but yeah.
I also have in my notes, Giles gives Buffy the same speech that Knights of Byzantium cartoon.
Yeah. Oh my god. Maybe that's what the groupies are making. Like that same.
Oh, they're making that same machine from the Wish universe.
She waited till the last minute to have this happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But then Buffy's like, all right, well, how do we stop Glory from doing this? How do we make this not happen? And Giles, we get a nice zoom in on Giles. The only way to stop the portal from opening, Buffy, is to kill Dawn. Credits.
We've been saying the killing Dawn thing is, like, we've mentioned it multiple times, like, you gotta kill Dawn to stop this thing from happening. And I get the issue. We get that it's hard to disconnect the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved to see more than, I guess we're gonna see her grapple with it.
Yeah.
But didn't she also find out that if she kills Glory, didn't someone say the only way to kill Glory is if you kill the man
the
that
human
she's
form?
Yeah, so Buffy also in this conversation knows another way to stop Glory. Like,
but either way,
but
what do you think?
Here's my issue here. She in the dream, she's like, "This is when I knew I could not beat Glory." Right?
Yeah.
And then last episode, and we got to assume that was when she was stolen Sunnydale before they left. Then she talks to the guard. The guard guy says, "If you want to kill Glory, you have to kill the body that she inhabits." So now you have your first ever weakness of Glory. Your first ever. You have like the slightest sliver of hope, right? And Buffy, you have never failed before. Like you failed in relationships, but you've never failed at killing these demons.
Yeah.
The Ascension, Adam, like you've done it, right? The Master, he killed you and you came back. Like you should have some confidence. It's not fun to have a character that's overly confident the whole time. Granted, but she has a sliver of hope of how to kill Glory. Now, this guy gave her the perfect amount of information, right? Now, she does not, then she becomes catatonic when she's gone. She doesn't take that sliver of information and go, hey, we need to find out who the guy is, right? And then Spike could be like, it's Dr. Intern Ben. Like, that's obviously going to come up.
Yeah.
This episode, and now she can remember it because the walls are caving down or this veil between them.
Yeah.
But like she has info of how to defeat him. Like that should a little supersede the guilt of her giving up because she doesn't. I don't know. It just seems like that was. I don't know. And she doesn't bring it up. And she doesn't bring it up during this last scene because they want like killing Dawn to be a payoff.
That's going to be the like end like button on the episode. I guarantee the next episode is going to open with them repeating that. Like you have to kill Dawn, and Buffy's going to be like, or I could kill Ben. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. like which would be. This is what I'm saying. Is like,
yeah,
it'll be more fucked up I feel like, to kill Ben because he is an actual human that was cursed with Glory's body. If they kill, maybe Ben will kill himself or something.
But yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of things because Ben is turning to the dark side and they've tried to make him go bad like randomly. Like they teased it with the needle. Like, is he going to kill Dawn?
Yeah.
And like they've been teasing it, and now he's then like, you get where he's coming from, except for he's like too much of a jerk about it. That one line about like, she doesn't care about my job. This girl's tied up and being tortured. But yeah, I think he's gonna die. That's gonna kill Glory. Dawn will survive. But you're right. Like, killing Dr. Intern Ben should be just as.
It's way more fucked
family,
up than killing Dawn.
Yeah,
in my estimation, because number one, Dawn's not real. Number two, Ben is real, and he didn't ask for a Glory. Like, he got cursed. This is not like his choice to have this thing. It's like he got cursed, and then Buffy will be like, "Oh, I gotta kill you, dude. Sorry." And he's like, "I just wanted to help people. I wanted to be a doctor." Just like, "Sorry, my fake sister takes precedence over you because I have fake memories of her implanted in my mind by a bunch of monks." That's so fucked up.
They're gonna find a way for him to die, but make it not like where we feel like Buffy made a bad.
It's gonna be heroic. He's gonna like do it. He's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if they went the other way and made it like when haven't there been moments where Buffy's done stuff and the crowd and the group's been like, "Dude, I think you went too far." Have they done that yet?
I think so.
I can't. The only thing I can think of is when Riley was getting his suck jobs at the vampire den.
And she lit the whole place on fire.
She just burnt down half of Sunnydale. That one street. I don't know when she's gone too far. Like, she's been punching some vampires hard, I guess, but I don't know when
they thought that she was going to go too far when she was going to kill Kathy.
Yes, that was so.
But
good.
she was right.
I love that. Go back and listen. That episode's so, like, I love stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind if she killed Dr. Intern Ben and was like, it was him or Dawn, and they were like, fuck, you know? And then you can start next season with a little bit like, this season started with Buffy wanting to know about herself and Slayers, and she has learned nothing. And
she learned that death is her gift.
Well, and I know you asked, and I was like, death is her gift. I was like, oh, that's her dying. And then when she's like, death is her gift, and she's like, oh, I get it, and she goes to smother Dawn, I was like, oh, she came to the realization the only way to win is to kill Dawn, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that happened in the dream, but in the dream it wasn't. It was like, you need to keep saving Dawn so you don't feel guilty and bad about yourself. And then we come out of it, and then it's like, hey, you got to kill Dawn. It just felt like a weird wave of, I don't know. It just, I don't know. Does it? I mean, it works technically, but I don't know. Something feels off about it. Like, hasn't killing Dawn always been an option on the table?
I feel like, yeah. I mean, that's what the
Knights want to do. That's what the people that you were just fighting wanted. They kept talking. All the Knights kept saying were, we want to kill the key. That's the way to stop it. Kill the key. Like, I don't understand why.
But Giles is saying it this time, so it makes more sense. So a different British guy saying.
So they had to fight a vampire guy to get the. I think another part of my issue is this: we had the Watcher show up, and their information was, she's a god, not a demon. Doesn't matter. She could have been a demon and be really strong. She could have been a robot and been really strong. It doesn't matter that she's a god, all right?
Yeah.
Learn nothing from that. Then they get the scrolls, and that has exactly the same information that they have, minus the Ben part.
Yeah.
So Buffy already has more information than they already have, and they're delivering this news like it's.
Well, I mean, I think that's they're going to talk about that in the next episode.
I know, but it's just like one of those. You know what this episode had, and I brought it up throughout. It has the beginning where they pan over to Dawn in the chair, and you're like, "Oh, what do you think?" And you're like, "Oh, Dawn's tied up there." It's like, no, we know she's been captured already. And then in the middle of the episode, they do another thing Where like,
Yeah,
you're like-
Spike learning that Ben is actually Glory. It's like, yep, we knew that.
yeah, like the bed thing. Like he knows that. So us seeing that doesn't like, and we've known it for episodes at this point now. So that reveal does nothing. And then at the end, we're like, well, we have to kill Dawn. You're like, but that's what the guy said last episode. We said that episode 1, and they said that the last episode to Buffy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of these like big reveal beats that they hit that aren't reveal beats because we already know the information.
Bro, they said that not only last episode, when the Knights of Byzantium first showed up like 10 episodes ago.
That was before she even found out that Glory was a god, which
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
She found out Glory was a god 5 minutes after.
But-
Like, they were like, we got to kill the key. It's got to be severed. Like, the tie needs to be severed. And she's like, all right.
Yeah, so I think that's my issue. I really like this episode. I like a lot of the humor of them not being able to see Glory and Dawn. I really like the debate with Glory and Dr. Intern Ben. I thought that was done so well. I even like a little bit of I loved Buffy smothering her sister and saying, death is my gift. I wish that would have played more into her being like, I know what I have to do and I hate that I have to do it. I would have liked that more than the weird, oh, you're just feeling guilty, tie in and snap out of it. And Buffy's like, you're right, Will. I don't know. But yeah,
Earth to Buffy.
Earth.
Dawn's still alive. Dum dum.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. Snap back to reality. Oh, there
She's
goes
like,
gravity.
Dawn's still alive. Oh, all the information I know. Yeah, just like those reveals, man. They're just empty reveals. And that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we already made a bunch of predictions for the next episode, but the next episode is titled The Gift. Yeah, I guess this is Glory's downfall. Yeah.
Death is her gift.
You think she's going to be standing above Ben with a sword? She goes, this is my gift. And just...
It's like the opposite of that scene where like Angel tries to stab her with the sword and she's like, oh, I need is me. And it's like, she just lets it go through. It's like,
How do you think the reptile guy is going to play into this next episode? That's a prediction thing.
I thought he was done for. I mean, I guess he's going to show up and fight one of the side characters.
That's true, yeah.
And he'll get beheaded. I'm gonna predict the reptile guy gets beheaded while his tongue is out.
I'm predicting Ben does a heroic suicide, and then they all like stand over his grave at the end of the episode and be like, he was a good Dr. Intern guy. Thank you.
It'd be great if that doctor from the hospital was there. Just like, I knew we had problems, but I never knew. This is why
he
you
never
can't
called out of work. You've been missing for 2 weeks.
This is why you don't fire people. They end up dead.
Yeah. He really took that firing hard, didn't he?
Yeah. You think Dawn survives this, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you think we get to see her as like a glowing green thing?
I think we're going to see a little bit of a portal open and Glory's going to be standing in front of it. And it's just going to be fire and Glory's going to be like, yes, ah, ha, 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 ha. I don't think we're going to see her as a glowing green key, though.
We had the prediction because there were 2 other gods with her, right?
Yeah.
And that they mentioned. And
yeah.
I thought that Dr. Intern Ben was one of them.
Yeah. We were wrong
he's
about
just
that.
he's just a regular person. But I wonder if we see those other 2 that wanted to banish her.
Oh, yeah. Or they like, they reach through the portal and grab her and like, we're going to torture you this time or something.
What? No, they
like,
sent her away.
Glory
this
opens
is her
the
punishment.
portal.
Well, this is her punishment.
Yeah.
They don't want to bring her back to the world.
No, but Glory opens the portal.
Yeah.
Those 2 demon or hell gods see that the portal's open. They're like, oh, this bitch, let's grab her and torture her.
This is the thing. Why is no one else after this key?
Yeah.
I mean, the Knights are trying to stop it. That's fine. But it seems like this would affect a lot of people.
Yeah, where's all the other realities chasing after the key?
Other demons, other people that are like, hey, if the dimensions merge together, this is bad news. Like,
yeah.
I hope they cut to a council.
The powers that be.
Or I would love to see the demons from the Kathy demons show up.
Oh, yeah.
They seem pretty
You
powerful.
just fucking love Kathy, dude.
I like the episode. I like the weirdness of like her trying to kill her roommate.
Yeah. I got her fingernails.
Yeah, like Buffy seemed unhinged and it was great. But those demons were super powerful, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just Glory's gonna die. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what. I don't know. I don't know what if there's a good twist. If there's a good if anything's gonna lead into the next season.
Yeah.
I wish the dad came back. That would just be so freaking hilarious. Him just being annoying throughout all of this would be amazing.
Oh, man. All right. Well, you got anything else to say about The Weight of the World, Vance, before we wrap this shit up?
Nope. Get ready. Episode 100, finale. Perfect
hundo.
timing. How did that work out?
No idea. That's pretty cool, though. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Check out our Discord. Join that. Do some chatter. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we're doing Angel. We do Boys Watching Movies, where we just did Snatch. Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. What else? Instagram @Boys Watching Buffy. Email boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com if you want to get a shout out. Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review. Spotify 5-star rating. Take a screenshot. Send it to my DMs @JoeWelke. And do that poll that we've got going on for our recap episode. We'll kind of
that'll be released next episode.
Yeah.
It'll be on the next episode show notes. But if you're listening to this, it might be on Discord right now. So yeah.
And stay tuned next time for when we talk about episode 100, The Gift.
Found Ben's room at Glory's. Didn't learn much.
Wait. Ben? At Glory's? You're saying all this time he's been subletting from her?
This is gonna be worth it.
Seltzer Kings
Podcasts.